So most foaming sugar scrubs that you see are aqueous, meaning that they include water in the ingredients. However, this is a way to make a beautiful oil-based sugar scrub that has amazing foaming ability, but it also incorporates oils for that lovely skin feel you get from oil-based moisturisers. It can be customised to be as thick as thin or thin as you like by adjusting the sugar content. It's also scoopable for those of you that like ASMR videos with the scoopable scrubs. So how do we get the foaming ability without using the usual surfactants? Well, the answer is Lumerol. Lumerol is a waterless blend of anionic and non-ionic surfactants, and it holds oils well, creating a beautifully foaming oil-based product without the need for other surfactants. When it comes into water, it self-emulsifies into an oil and water foaming emulsion, and that cleanses the skin. Typically, usage is between 35% and 65%, but you'll see in our formula we have it at 20%. If you omit the sugar, then the Lumerol works out at around 60%. It's the addition of the sugar in this formulation that reduces its percentage, but since the sugar is an exfoliating addition and not a dilutant, it is not reducing the Lumerol's effectiveness. Lumerol is mild and gentle and cleanses the skin well, whilst allowing the oils and butters in the formulation to leave you feeling super moisturised. You don't need a preservative because it's an anhydrous formula. However, if you want to add one, you can. We'd advise phenoxyethanol EHG, as this is a broad spectrum preservative that is both oil and water soluble and effective in a wide pH. The reason you don't need a preservative, even though it does come into contact with water, is because there is no water contained within the formula and it has a high percentage of sugar. If you want to read more on this, then look at the supporting blog, which is linked below. So here we go. Here's our formula and our recipe for a 200 gram batch. First ingredient is the Lumerol. We're going to keep that separate because that's not going to be heated. Then we have our phase B ingredients, which we'll need to melt. First of the ingredients would be fractionated coconut oil. The second being sweet almond oil. And then finally in phase B, shea butter. In phase C, you've got your mica or pigment. We're using neon yellow non-bleed pigment. In phase D, which is your cool down phase, we've got our banana fragrance oil and then our vitamin E as our antioxidant because it's an anhydrous product. And then it wouldn't be a scrub without the scrub part, so we're using granulated sugar. You can use as much or as little as you like depending on the texture that you want of the final product. So put the Lumerol to the side for now and get another beaker, fill that with your phase B oils and butter, and then heat that until the butter has melted. Once it's melted, give it a quick stir and then leave it to cool to 40 degrees or less before you add it to the rest of your ingredients. Once it's cool enough, you can pour the oil ingredients into the Lumerol and stir very gently because you don't want to create too much foam at this point. Then you can add your colour. Don't worry if it doesn't disperse evenly at this point, it will as you continue to add your ingredients. Then, so long as it's 40 degrees or less, you can add your fragrance oil and your vitamin E and mix in well. Then you can add your sugar and stir in and just keep adding and weighing the sugar until you get the texture you like, and then once you've got the final weight of your sugar, get all the gram weights of everything you've used and then calculate that back into percentages, because the more sugar you use, the lower the percentages of everything else in your formula. But as I've explained previously, it won't affect the efficacy of the Lumerol, so don't worry about that. Once you've got the consistency you like, then you can pour it into jars. I don't have an ice cream scoop or one of those fancy jars to do it in, so I'm just going to pour it. But you can do the whole ice cream scoopable thing that's all the rage on TikTok at the moment if you want to. I really love the texture of this. I like them sort of medium thin, but if you want it thicker, then by all means add more sugar. You just have to recalculate your percentages. And as you can see from this quick demo, it foams really, really well. And like I said earlier, you can choose to use a preservative or not. If you think your customers are likely to get a lot of water in it, then it is probably a good idea to add one. And make sure you do your stability testing. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think of the video and if you make this in the comments. See you next time.